It's Tuesday again and I would like to hang with you lads, but I'm off to listen to the new episode of the Slaven Selection Show. Play now or stay in dark forever.
Happy Tuesday, everyone! Fasten your seatbelts because I'm quite sure I'm going to anger a lot of people today. Do you know about the Vatican Astronomy? Well, we have to thank to a loyal Basque for mostly everything we have today in a Christian Science. It was only recently that a left-wing coalition of Basque separatists, partially descended from the political wing of the defunct terrorist group ETA, has made unprecedented electoral advances in the northern Spanish region, but was pipped to first place by the ruling centrist Basque Nationalist Party. But this is not about Basque or Catalonia. This is about Loyola, who was the first and foremost loyal to the Pope as the head of the Catholic Church, despite being raised to be a diplomat in the service of the Spanish crown. Prior to his military injuries, he was an asshole, womanizer, dandy-like brawler. But while recovering from surgery, he underwent a spiritual conversion and discerned a vocation to religion. Funny, because I had both of my legs shattered in about 10 different fractures. I spent a month in the hospital and recovered for a couple of months, and never ever considered the so-called Supreme Being. So, was Loyola compensating for a life that is not there anymore, or was not there anymore? Only God knows. I would say it was a suspiciously convenient belief. Nah, it was just that I had unlimited morphine, but he had not. Why am I mentioning him, so you might ask? Well, he was the founder of the Jesuits. So I suppose he contributed to the development of the astronomy without even wanting it. From 1824 until 1957, the Jesuits erected 74 observatories around the world, many of which became internationally famous research centers. So Loyola does not appear to have been directly concerned in astronomy. However, the search results show that the Jesuit order he founded had an important role in developing astronomical science and erecting observatories over the years. But let's do some statistics, and we're in Canada now. So popular science is gaining popularity, but the same cannot be said for religion, particularly Christianity. Fortunately, science, no matter where it comes from, is independent of popular and personal opinions. In science, you can believe whatever you choose. However, facts are facts, and this is one. So let's start with numbers. A fact. In 2021, 53% of Canada's population identified as Christian, making it the country's largest religion. However, the proportion of Canadians who are so-called religiously unaffiliated, so atheists like me, agnostics, or so-called nothing in particular, has increased from 4% in 1971 to over 30% in recent years. And according to a 2022 ECOS survey, only 40% of Canadians consider religion very important or somehow important in their lives, with Quebec having the lowest rate, only 27%. The same ECOS study discovered that a majority, or 58% of Canadians, believe that humans have evolved according to the process of natural selection, rather than being created by God in the last 10,000 years. According to 2021 census, Muslims account up to almost 5% of Canada's population, making them the largest religious group after Christians. Similarly, the proportion of Hindus has risen to 2.3%, while the proportion of Sikhs has increased to 2.1% in recent years, owing to immigration. A 2021 Ipsos poll revealed that 65% of Canadians believe in intelligent extraterrestrial existence. And according to an Angus Reid poll from 2016, 4 out of 5 Canadians, that's almost 80%, believe intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe. A 2014 poll found that over 55% of atheists profess a belief in extraterrestrials, compared to only 32% of Christians, 36% of Hindu, and 37% of Jews and 44% of Muslims. It seems that Christianity is the least likely to put some faith in our galactic brothers. Or are they? Well, according to a Pew Research Center survey, a nonpartisan American think tank based in Washington, D.C., 67% of Catholics in the United States believe there is an intelligent life on other planets, and the search results also show that Catholics are more inclined to believe in aliens than other religious groups. According to the report, like 67% of Catholics believe in intelligent life beyond Earth, compared to 65% of mainline Protestants and 40% of white evangelical Protestants. Furthermore, the search results indicate that Catholics' belief in aliens is expanding, with the percentage that believe UFOs are proof of alien life increasing over time. Well, I wouldn't mix UFOs or UAPs with the prospect of intelligent life in space, but that's okay. And in my opinion, the survey should be conducted individually for each parish, because no matter how united the Catholic Church is, the result may differ, but that's another issue. And I will also argue that the order that was primarily concerned with limiting Protestantism's spread and preserving Catholic teaching and power was the first to show an interest in the skies above. The Jesuits began with an Aristotelian foundation for natural philosophy and astronomy, but they evolved and adapted this knowledge over time. Catholic astronomers, particularly the Jesuits, benefited from and expanded on the considerable advances in astronomy made by Islamic scientists during the medieval and early modern periods. Well, I'll dedicate an episode to astronomical discoveries because it's super interesting. In Islam in the future. So just a few sentences for now. Between the 8th and 15th centuries, Islamic scientists made significant contributions to the discipline of astronomy, including enhancing and refining the Ptolemaic system, compiling improved astronomical tables, and developing new instruments. Key Islamic astronomers such as Al-Farghani, Ibn al-Haytham, and Al-Hazin, who was a medieval mathematician, astronomer, and physicist of the Islamic Golden Age from present-day Iraq. He is known as the father of modern optics and made significant contributions to the principles of optics and visual perception. Abdul al-Rahman al-Sufi wrote major books that were widely studied and translated in Europe, contributing to the transmission and dissemination of Greek astronomical knowledge, particularly Ptolemy's Almagest. And the Almagest is a foundational astronomical work produced by the ancient Greek astronomer Ptolemy in 150 CE. It was a dominant for over 1500 years and the most comprehensive and authoritative work on astronomy in the ancient world. It remained the preeminent text on the subject in Europe and the Islamic world until the 17th century. When it comes to other translations from Arabic to Latin, there are a couple of works we have to mention. There is the Compendium by Al-Farghani, also known as Al-Fraganus, which was translated into Latin in the 12th century by John of Seville in 1135 and later by Gerard of Cremona. Now you're asking, who was Gerard of Cremona? Well, he was an Italian translator of scientific books from Arabic into Latin, and he worked in famous Toledo, Kingdom of Castile, and obtained the Arabic books in the libraries of Toledo. Some of the books he had been originally written in Greek, and although well known in Byzantine Constantinople and Greece at the time, were unavailable in Greek or Latin in Western Europe. So Gerard of Cremona is the most important translator among the Toledo school of translators, or Escuela de Traductores de Toledo, who invigorated Western medieval Europe in the 12th century by transmitting the Arabs and ancient Greeks' knowledge in astronomy, medicine, and other sciences by making the knowledge available in Latin. And one of the Gerard's most famous translations is of Ptolemy's Almagest from Arabic texts found in Toledo. One of the most important figures in the story was Raymond of Toledo, also known as Francis Raymond de Sauvetat or Raymond de Sauvetat, who was the Archbishop of Toledo from 1125 to 1152. Interestingly enough, he was a French Benedictine, not a Jesuit monk, born in Gascony. And Raymond's most important contribution was, of course, the creation of the Toledo School of Translators, a group of scholars who worked together to translate many classical and Islamic philosophical and scientific works from Arabic, Greek, and Hebrew into Latin. Then there is Gerard de Sabloneta, and who translated some works from Avicenna, and also other Latin translation, especially those of the greatest and most famous of the astronomers of the medieval Islamic world, like Al-Battani, and his astronomical work like De Motu Stellarum, which remained very influential in Europe until the time of Johannes Müller von Königsberg or Regiomontanus. Also, there is a Thabit ibn Qurra. His Arabic version of the Ptolemy's Almagest was used as a source for some of the Latin translations of the Almagest in the 12th century. Hajjaj and Ishaq ibn Hunayn, I hope I pronounced this well, their Arabic versions of the Almagest were also used as sources for Gerard of Cremona influential Latin translation of the Almagest. When we think of the Jesuit order, the first thing that springs to mind, especially if you are Catholic born but rebellious individual like me, is torture and witches. That is just human perspective. We tend to see what we want, and we like to see unpleasant things all the time, right? But actually, it's not all that horrible. Everything comes in a package, especially when society is progressing. It's like a tool, you can do good things with it, you can do bad things with it. It does, it's all about your choices, right? So you could assume that religion is backward, and the Vatican Observatory is one of the world's oldest operational astronomical observatories, dating back to 1582 and the Gregorian calendar change. Then for 400 years, the Vatican has promoted scientific investigation and understanding of how the universe works. And the Catholic Church has actually a long history of supporting and funding astronomical studies and observatories. The Vatican Observatory is an astronomical research and educational institution supported by the Holy See. It was originally based in the Roman College in Rome, but it's now headquartered in Castel Gandolfo, Italy, and operates a telescope at the Mount Graham International Observatory in the United States, right? Well, you know what? United States, that's the new Roman Empire, so I'm not surprised. Well, the Vatican Observatory has been operated by Jesuits since 1934 and has made numerous contributions to astronomy, including work on the Carte du Ciel, photographic star atlas, and spectroscopic research. And some notable directors of the Vatican Observatory include Johann Hagen, George Coyne, José Gabriel Funes, and the current director, the famous Guy Consolmagno. Yes, you know that guy. Well, the Church's interest in astronomy was often practical, such as improving the calendar, as well as apologetic, to counter the perception of conflict between faith and science. Astronomy was seen as a field that could connect philosophical and scientific understandings of the universe. As former Vatican Observatory Director George Coyne stated, science's very methodology is to seek for natural explanations of natural events or material explanations for material happenings. That puts God and religious faith outside the realm of science. Today, the Vatican Observatory continues to conduct astronomical research with scientists studying topics ranging from quantum gravity to exoplanets. The Vatican also runs educational programs like the Vatican Observatory Summer School to train the next generation of astronomers. People assert nonsense online, such as that the only reason that the Vatican has astronomy today is to modify worshiping days, which is just doesn't make sense. Like from Buenos Aires to Zagreb, Jesuits constructed educational institutions everywhere. When it comes to North America only, the oldest Jesuit universities in the United States are Georgetown University, which was founded in 1789 in Washington. Then there's the St. Louis University, founded in 1818 in St. Louis, Missouri. Then Spring Hill College, founded in 1830 in Mobile, Alabama. Xavier University, founded in 1831 in Cincinnati. Then Ohio and College of the Holy Cross, founded in 1843 in Worcester, Massachusetts. And some famous Canadian Jesuit institutions are St. Paul's College, University of Manitoba, St. Bonaventure's College, St. John's in Newfoundland, St. Mary's University, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Regis College, a graduate theological division in the University of Toronto, Ontario, and of course Loyola College, now campus of Concordia University in Quebec, and Campion College, Regina in Saskatchewan. The Catholic Church had a complex and nuanced relationship with astronomy during Galileo's time. The Church did not simply condemn astronomy and brand Galileo a heretic. In fact, the Church actively worked to amass astronomical tools, measurements, and knowledge, adapting cathedrals across Europe to serve as solar observatories. And this was driven in part by the need to accurately determine the date of Easter. While the Church did clash with Galileo over his heliocentric model, it has since embraced astronomy and given its practitioners an important mission. As former Vatican Observatory Director George Coyne stated, science's very methodology is to seek for natural explanation of natural events or material explanations for material happenings that put God's and religious faith outside the realm of science. The conflict with Galileo was more nuanced than commonly portrayed. Galileo was not immediately condemned as a heretic, but was merely warned not to espouse heliocentrism in 1616. And it was not until, again, 16 years later, when Galileo published his dialogue on the two world systems, that the Pope ordered another investigation and Galileo was prosecuted. And even then, Galileo was not tortured or martyred, but rather given a light punishment after agreeing to renounce his beliefs. Well, it actually relies on the historical sources, but, that's fine. Finally, the Church's perspective on astronomy was complex. It wanted to expand astronomical knowledge and equipment while simultaneously struggling to reconcile new scientific theories with traditional interpretations of Scripture. A significant number of celestial bodies are named after Jesuit astronomers, and some of them are Robert Janusz, Polish Jesuit priest and physicist. Then there's Ruđer Bošković from Republic of Ragusa, or Dubrovnik in present-day Croatia. Yes, that place where they filmed King's Landing and shame. I think it was that was the scene. So Ruđer was a physicist, astronomer, mathematician, and polymath. Then there's William Stoger, I think, American Jesuit priest. Then Johann Georg Hagen, Austrian-American Jesuit who demonstrated the Earth's rotation. Then Pope Gregory XIII, who commissioned the Gregorian calendar reform, also had an asteroid named after him. The first asteroid discovered, Ceres, was found by an Italian priest named Giuseppe Piazzi in 1801, and it was named in his honor. And the lunar crater was also named after him. More than 30 objects on the moon are named after Jesuits, starting with Riccioli, I would say crater, named after Jesuit Father Giovanni Battista Riccioli, who developed the system of naming lunar objects. And also some key Jesuit astronomers and their contributions include Christopher Clavius, who played a key role in the Gregorian calendar reform and promoted the teaching of mathematics, including astronomy. And in Jesuit schools, Giovanni Battista Riccioli, who produced an accurate telescopic map of the moon and named lunar craters after prominent scientists, including many Jesuits, Angelo Secchi, which is considered the father of astrophysics, who made significant contributions to stellar spectroscopy and solar physics. And there is a Johann Hagen, who served as director of the Vatican Observatory from 1904 and helped oversee its operations under the Jesuit order. And also an interesting figure, Ignatius Schemertoni. I can't really pronounce it. It's a Hungarian last name. He was Croatian, but he was of Hungarian origin, a Jesuit priest, missionary, mathematician, astronomer, explorer, and cartographer. Although considered to be a scientific or intellectual elite among Catholics, not all Catholic astronomers were Jesuits. And probably the most famous one was Georges Lemaitre, a Belgian Catholic priest and astronomer who proposed the Big Bang theory of the origin of the universe. He was not a Jesuit, but a diocesan priest. And also there's, of course, famous Nicholas Copernicus, a Polish Catholic cleric and astronomer who proposed the heliocentric model of the solar system, which places the sun, rather than the earth, at the center. And of course, Giovanni Cassini, an Italian astronomer who made many important astronomical discoveries, including the identification of the division in Saturn's rings and the 4 major satellites of Saturn. He was not a Jesuit, but worked at a Paris observatory which was supported by the French monarchy. Then William Herschel, a German-born British astronomer who discovered the planet Uranus and made many other important astronomical observations. He was a member of the Church of England, not the Catholic Church. So, while the Jesuits have made significant contributions to astronomy, the Catholic Church has supported and produced many notable astronomers from outside the Jesuit order as well. The Church has generally been open to and supportive of scientific advancement, even when it has challenged traditional beliefs. Well, at least that's what I say. Is it propaganda? Is it PR? I don't know. You tell me. So, the Vatican Observatory itself has been operated by Jesuits since 1934 and has made numerous contributions to astronomy, including work on the Carte du Ciel, photographic star atlas, and spectroscopic research. And Jesuits have also been involved in popularizing astronomy, guys like Victor Badillo in the Philippines, and in integrating astronomy with religious and philosophical perspectives, as seen in the work of Adam Hinks, an astrophysicist and Jesuit priest. So, outside Vatican, I would say the first Jesuit astronomical observatory outside the Vatican was the Imperial Observatory in China, established by Jesuit missionaries in the late 17th century. Notable among them were Ferdinand Verbist, or Verbius, I'm not sure, and other Jesuits at the Imperial Observatory in China. So this was one of the earliest Jesuit astronomical observatories located outside of the Vatican. The search results do not mention any other Jesuit observatories established outside the Vatican prior to this one in China. So the Imperial Observatory in China appears to be the first one, right? So Ferdinand was a Flemish Jesuit missionary who lived from 1623 to 1688 and played a significant role in astronomy and science in China during the Qing dynasty. He was born in Pitten, Belgium, and joined the Jesuit order in 1641. He was sent as a missionary to China in 1658. In China, he became an influential official in the imperial government, serving as the director of the Imperial Board of Astronomy and advising the Kangxi Emperor of many matters. He was a trained astronomer and mathematician, and he helped correct errors in the Chinese calendar and rebuilt the Beijing Ancient Observatory. He also designed what might have been the first self-propelled vehicle, though there is a debate about whether it was actually built. I don't remember any observatories in Japan, to be honest. I feel that one country on earth where Jesuits were not successful or not welcomed was Japan. When attempting to invade Japan, they faced similar challenges as Mongolian hordes. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you get the concept. It did not end it well. The Jesuits played a significant role in establishing meteorological observatories in Latin America in the 19th and early 20th centuries. By 1930, there were more than 30 Jesuits operated observatories in different parts of the world, many of which were located in Latin America and had meteorological sections. Some notable Jesuit observatories in Latin America included the Instituto Geofísico in Bogota, Colombia, which was mostly dedicated to seismology, but also had a meteorology section still in operation. And also there is Observatorio de Física Cósmica de San Miguel in Argentina, which was mainly focused on solar activity and cosmic radiation, but also had a complete meteorological station and conducted research on atmospheric electricity. The observatory was mainly focused on the study of solar activity and cosmic radiation, but it also had a complete meteorological station and conducted research on atmospheric electricity. And after a period of neglect, the Historical Observatorio de Física Cósmica de San Miguel has recently reopened and is once again operating telescopes and conducting astronomical observations. And today, in this modern era, whatever you want to call it, the Vatican Observatory is synonymous with one person, Guy Colsormagno. And he's an American research astronomer, physicist, Jesuit religious brother, and the current director of the Vatican Observatory. Colsormagno obtained his bachelor's and master's degrees from MIT and his PhD in planetary science from the University of Arizona in 1978. After his postdoctoral research and teaching at Harvard and MIT, he joined the U.S. Peace Corps in 1983 to teach astronomy and physics in Kenya for 2 years. In 1989, he entered the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, and took his religious vows in 1991. He was then assigned as an astronomer to the Vatican Observatory, and in addition to his astronomical research, he has also studied philosophy and theology. His research focuses on the connection between meteorites, asteroids, and the origin and the evolution of small bodies in the solar system. He has co-authored over 40 refereed scientific papers as well as several popular science books on astronomy, that have been translated into multiple languages. Consolmagno has been the director of the Vatican Observatory since the early 2000s. He has served as the president of the Vatican Observatory Foundation, which supports the observatory's research and educational activities. He was the chair of the Planetary Sciences Division of the American Astronomical Society from 2006 to 2007. And Consolmagno is known as a prominent advocate for the integration of science and religion, arguing that they're complementary rather than conflicting. He has been a popular speaker at science fiction conventions and other public events, discussing topics related to astronomy, faith, and the search for extraterrestrial life. In 2022, he was awarded by the St. Albert Award by the Society of Catholic Scientists in recognition of his contribution to the field. So today, the Vatican is actively collaborating in the OSIRIS-REx mission, which is a big mission. It's very important, and including scientists from the Vatican Observatory at the NASA Johnson Space Center, the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, or VAT, VATT, at the Mount Graham International Observatory in Arizona is being operated in close collaboration with the University of Arizona Stewart Observatory. The VAT is financed by the Vatican Observatory Foundation. Long-term survey programs on themes such as meteorites, exoplanets, star clusters, and galaxy clusters, leveraging the observatory's consistent financing and ability to conduct research over many years. Astrophysics and cosmology issues covered include solar system, galactic, extragalactic, and cosmic astronomy. Participation in worldwide astronomy projects like the historical Carte du Ciel and also Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI. Unfortunately, the number of Jesuit observatories is not expanding, which is attributed not just to a decline in believers, but also to the fact that secular astronomical organizations now dominate. In 2021, Catholics accounted for less than 30% of the Canadian population, which is down from 39% in 2011 and 47% from the 70s, right? So the Catholic population in Canada has decreased by more than 2 million during the last decade, from 12.8 million in 2011 to 10.9 million in 2021. So still, and overall, I would say it's not the end. It's Catholicism is in Canada is still the largest Christian denomination, right? And you know what? If there is a will, there is a way. But for me, the time is off. Sometimes in the future, I will surely have a guest from a Vatican observatory. I really want to do this. I would love to speak with Guy Consolmagno. I think he's a very interesting guy. He's to me, I would like to talk to him, or also the Filipenko guy. Filipenko is super fun. He's the greatest guy ever. Anyways, so I'm out of here. I have to say, my birthday is in 3 days on the 26th, so I have to hurry up and make some online orders from the smallest state in the world, Vatican City. Did you know they have some nice geeky t-shirts on the Vatican Observatory webpage? And to order a gift or learn more, visit vaticanobservatory.org. Get a Vatican Observatory t-shirt or a hoodie. Select the size. Stay selective. Vale.